The only tomato plant you found them on?
So far, yeah.
Just looking for them.
They're on this one right here. There's the adults and the babies.
Can we just cut that hole and cut your losses?
Well, we might have to. I hate to lose those tomatoes, but we might have to. And because I just don't want to, yeah.
So I wonder if we get a bigger bucket, we drop it all into a bigger bucket.
Yeah.
Wash the tomatoes off, kill the bugs, and dry them off the vine.
Well, and we'll have to see how much damage is already done on those tomatoes. They might not be any good anyway.
Do you think we should get a bigger bucket and more water?
Yeah, maybe. Did we miss any? Did they all get in the down in there?
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad.
But
But if I don't see any on the others so far. And the other thing I did is I yesterday moved one of the marigolds and planted it here underneath. I don't know if these bugs don't like marigolds, but some bugs don't. Oh, well, that wasn't as hard as I thought it'd be, but it is a sacrifice of my tomatoes.
Well, we can grow them off the vine, ripen them off the vine.
Yeah, but now they're covered in soap.
That's all right.
Let's see what damage was done. They were in this one big time.
That looks like it's gone.
Maybe I'll go rinse these off.
Yeah, the tragedy is you've lost that branch.
Yeah, and I don't... These beautiful big ones.
So
I don't know. I'll rinse it off.
yeah. I'll just keep looking.
Yeah, see if there's any more.
We just want to thank you guys that are following Chrissy and us, 9 Little Aussies, online. You've been very, very encouraging. This is also brand new. It's so different. For 2 English-speaking countries that I'm very familiar with, even I find the transition difficult. And my wife is just amazing in how that she has really embraced the change. And through this YouTube channel, so many of you have reached out and encouraged us, and your wonderful comments and your likes has been so encouraging. And we just want to take the time to say thank you. It's very, very encouraging when things are so upside down, from down under. Haha. Thank you.
These ducklings are getting way too big for this space. So we are temporarily going to move them because we don't have their permanent house ready. Let's put a big one in first. All right, let's come see your new home. Well, it's their first time on grass. It's okay. Do you like being on grass? You're loud, aren't you? You're a loud one. Here you go. What do you think, Molly? Hey? What do you think? You go leave those ducklings alone, okay? Yeah. Promise? You be good. We've got a whole pen, guys. You can move all around under there. They're all staying together for safety, I guess, in this unfamiliar territory. I think they like it though. Hello, welcome back to 9 Little Aussies. I'm Chrissy, and today has not turned out the way I expected. Does that ever happen to you? Sometimes it just does. I got up, I'm so sweaty, it's really hot. I got up this morning, it is a Sunday, so I got up, had my coffee, got dressed, put my makeup on, put my earrings on, got all ready for church, and then realized I had a couple of kids that were not going to make it to church, that are not well, and so I'm not going. And then I remembered I actually kept dreaming last night about these bugs on my tomatoes, and I was like, I have got to get those tomatoes, those bugs off, and I wasn't sure how to do it. A lot of people say to vacuum them off because they're so quick and they jump away really before you can get them. I don't have a little handheld vacuum, and I'm not about to go buy one just to vacuum some bugs off my tomato plants. So I'm like, what can I do? Now someone else said online, because I asked on a few groups, and someone else said that you try and flick them into soapy water, because otherwise they will just jump away really quickly, and you don't want to squash them because they release a smell and like a hormone that attracts more of those kind of bugs. I think they're called leaf-footed insects or leaf-footed, and there was both babies, like nymphs, and there was larger ones as well, but they were all clustered. I haven't seen them anywhere else on the tomatoes, just on this one plant, on one group of one bunch of, they were beautiful big tomatoes, but I decided just to sacrifice those. So anyway, we came out this morning. I said to my husband, you got to come help me because I don't know if they're going to jump away and I'm going to be chasing them. So, anyway, we did that this morning, and he has gone off with those that are well enough. And then we decided I got to get those ducks moved because they're just growing so quickly and it's starting to not be good for them in that little pen. It's a brooder that we had them in, and they're ducks are so messy. I knew that, but you know, they just spill their water everywhere. So then the pine shavings we have down just don't last like they do with chickens. So we've put them out on the grass. So got a few little things done, but that's not what I was planning on doing today. Anyway, it is what it is. I think I might go inside and make that dewberry jam that I have been putting off because life just keeps interrupting me. Maybe today I'll get it done. Okay, I am back in the kitchen. I have cooled down, washed my face, and I've just washed off these pint jars, and I'm gonna see if I can get this jam finally done. So we went out to our friend's property weeks ago now. These little dewberries have all been in the freezer, in freezer bags for weeks, because I just haven't had a chance to get to them. We picked some here, quite a few here, but most of the ones we picked here we ate. But our friends who live about 30 minutes away had tons of them. So their property is covered in a lot of old forestry, and it is just full of dewberries. And so we were able to pick a lot more out there. What are you two little boys doing? Hey, did you fill your container?
Yeah, we both filled it.
Wow, you guys did great.
You know what? That on that side. Just finish this one.
That looks so good.
We won.
Ready to pick dewberries? They are so thick. It is crazy. Yeah. And it's been sitting in plastic bags in the freezer, waiting for me to get to this. And I've had a couple of like, oh dear, I need to get to that moments. We have lost power twice with bad storms, and I just think all that stuff in the freezer, I need, if I can get it preserved and in jars and shelf stable, I'm not going to risk losing it. And I do need to also do the same with, I have a bunch of beef bones and some beef tallow, and now I don't know if I've told you this, but I now have a pressure canner, which I'm so excited about, that I still can't believe this, but a viewer sent it to me. These things are expensive. It is an all-American canner, so which is the one I had like put in my head that, and I'd done some research. I'm like, oh, if I could get what I really wanted, that's what I would get, because it doesn't have the seals that need to be replaced, and it's just going to last like forever. I'll be able to give it to Gracie or one of the kids. Like, it's a really good one. So I am just beyond excited, because I actually thought, no, that's not going to be this season. I'll have to wait. Maybe next year I'll be able to get that. So now I am working my way through. As you know, if you've been watching here at all, I have been teaching myself water bath canning, and I've done the course on the School of Traditional Skills for that. And now I'm going through and doing the course on pressure canning, so that I will be able to eventually process all of those, the beef fat, render it down to tallow, which in the past, and I've done that for years, but I've always had to store it in the fridge. So now I will be able to get it shelf stable, which is so exciting. And then it won't be in the freezer, and I've got all those bones, and I'll be able to cook those and make broth and can that and make that shelf stable. So just, it'll give me a lot of peace of mind to know that I'm not relying on the electricity to keep going and not, you know, power outages and whatnot. So, but today it is the jam. I'm heating up my canning pot, but then I just suddenly realized, oh, I'm going to have people coming home soon, and I haven't thought about lunch. So I'm just going to quickly do, I think I'll just do a carbonara. It's so quick and easy, just a bacon carbonara. I'll get that on, and then I'll be able to put my head back into jam mode. Do you like my little apron? I know I've been showing off my aprons lately, but someone else sent me this lovely little apron. It's so cute, and it just goes nice and comfy and loose over your clothes, and it kind of crosses over at the back, and it's got these really handy dandy little pockets. I love it. I think Lorena sent it to me, so thank you, Lorena. It's very cute. I like it. All right, so it's after lunch now, and I have taken these out of the freezer. So these were just in some Ziploc bags in the freezer, and you can see they're still in bag sort of shapes, but I've taken them out to start defrosting. And I have approximated, because I've approximated 9 cups of crushed dewberries, because I'm using the recipe in here. It calls for 9 cups of berries in, look, in this book, which a beautiful viewer has sent me. I'm so excited. I've been just laying on my bed flipping through it. So many fun recipes I can't wait to try. But this one is the long cook recipe for berry jam, so the one without pectin, and it says 9 cups of crushed berries. These obviously aren't crushed right now, they're frozen, so they're swollen a bit, and I have just guessed. So I've probably overcompensated a little for my guessing and errors that might be made there. So I'm going to pop that in the pot, just start cooking it down, and I'll crush it after it's cooked, like all melted a little bit. I'll get in there with a potato masher or something. Right, so I've popped that in the pot, And you can kind of see in here, I deliberately picked some berries that were red, not fully ripe. And I actually did that before I got this recipe book from the Ball Canning book, but I was flipping through my mum's old CWA cookbook, and it said under the jams and jellies that you should add in unripe fruit because it's higher in pectin. So when I was picking, I said to our friends, make sure you get some red ones as well. So we've got a mix of ripe and, you know, definitely the majority are ripe, but just a little bit of unripe ones in there as well for the pectin content. So hopefully that will work. That was a fun day. That was a really fun day when we went to their place and just wandered through the forest picking berries. We, yeah, lots of blueberries for sale references were made that day. Okay. Starting to kind of melt so that I can chop it down a little bit. So I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of the lemon juice and the sugar. I'll go get that. Right, so 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. 1, 2. I think this just helps with the setting. 1, 2. Just gonna stir that in. I still have a little bit there that's frozen, but that's okay, it'll melt soon. Okay, just to be sure I clarify this, I know I've said it on a previous video, but this is not a tutorial. I am a beginner canner and I'm just taking you along with me as I learn to can. So this is the 3rd time I have canned. The first I made strawberry jam, and then I made applesauce, which I had a few boo-boos in the applesauce. You can see that video if you want. And this one is this dewberry jam, and I wanted to not do this as my first one because we had taken the time to go out and forage and had all that experience and the joy of finding them and picking them, and I was like, I don't want to mess up on my dewberries. So I tried store-bought frozen strawberries first, and hopefully this will go well. Isn't that just the most gorgeous color? It's so vibrant, and with the flecks of red and the black, it's so pretty. So pretty. So that took quite a long time, but it has come to a rolling boil. I boiled it for a minute and I've just turned it down to simmer. Mary from Mary's Nest says a trick to get a good set is to let it gently simmer for 15 minutes after the rolling boil. So I'm just doing that, seeing as how I'm not using pectin either. All right, so I have just had it on low for 15 minutes and I'm just gonna do the little gel test. You put a cold plate in the freezer, put a little spoon of jam on there, pop it back in the freezer for a minute and then just check it. So I'm gonna do that, but I think it's pretty good. I did a test about 10 minutes ago and it was still needing a little bit more, but I forgot you were supposed to put it back in the freezer. So anyway, all right, I did the gel test. You can see the few tests I've done and that one worked just nicely. So I will go ahead and start processing these. These jars out, one at a time. Do a debubble around here. check the depth, but I'm pretty much, yeah, I think that's very much close to it. And we're going on that rim, which looks about right. With some vinegar. Check that it's all clean. There was a little bit on there. Right. Now, one of these. Oops. And they're nice and hopefully that's good. I have 6 pint jars in there. I forgot to film the last bit, but anyway, I put the jam all in, sealed them hopefully correctly, and brought it to the boil. It's got about 8 minutes left on the processing time, and we'll put them out to rest. Guess what? It worked. I'm so excited. So, no siphoning. I mean, my first jams worked well too. And I think I'm getting a little bit more confident with the lids and tightening. But how cool is that? Dewberry jam. Hand foraged and jammed in my own kitchen. So exciting. Very, very cool. So, thanks for coming along with me on my canning adventures. I am going to do some more. I don't know how many of them I'll video because it'll probably just get a bit dull, but I will be doing pickles soon because we have so many cucumbers about to come in. I did some fermenting. I fermented a couple of, 1 jar of cucumbers and about 3 jars of jalapenos the other day. So they're in the pantry fermenting, but I need to also fermenting is great, and I love fermenting. I really enjoy it, and I enjoy the flavor, and I enjoy the probiotics that I know my family is getting, but it takes fridge space here, at least in this climate, and I don't have a whole heap. Like, once they're fermented, you've got to put them in the fridge, and so it's not something I can do for the bulk of the harvest. So I will be doing more canning, learning how to can pickles, and probably a bunch of other stuff. So I will see how I go, how much of that I actually video, but I'm looking forward to this season, and the next step is pressure canning. So I will keep you posted on that. Thanks for being with me today. I will see you again really soon. Sunshine and raindrops until then.